This is a subset of, what we had here was a subset of 27 women from the 1983 study agreed to give blood 3 times a week, as well as all that other data. And they gave the blood in the luteal phase of the month. And these are the data of the 27 individual women. If we go down further, you go back and look at what that data showed, but I want to show you the summary of the data. Turns out that neither testosterone nor progesterone was related to the behavior pattern of being weekly versus less than weekly. But look at the estrogen level difference in the weekly active women. They're circulating 118 picograms per milliliter of estrogen. You see that? Can you see that number from where you are? You can. Okay, and the less than weekly, what are they circulating? 65. Menopausal women are about 40. So this is young women that ought to be circulating around 120 are not. They're about half as much estrogen circulating. It has a lot to do with an awful lot of health effects that you can expect from that. Let's go further. This is total estradiol comparing celibate sporadic to weekly. That's just a bar graph. Instead of looking at it, I like to look at individual data, but most people like to look at bar graph summaries. Here's another one of that same set of people, looking at what was the behavior pattern, and the X's are the sporadically active. Look at their estradiol levels. Look how low they are. Can you see all these people who have not too much sex? Their heterosexual total is 4 or 5 or 8 days out of 14. And look how low their estradiol levels are. And compare that to the weekly women. They're all much higher except one person. So this is what we were finding, and being celibate seemed to be a little protection. So it's like either do it or don't do it. But halfway effects are not real good for a woman's body, is really what the data were saying to me in terms of fertility. This is another, let's see what figure 3. The proportion of long and short cyclers who have deficient estrogen, that's really what it's looking at. And I don't have time to take that apart, so we're going to skip it. The summary of this whole study is stable sexual behaviors seem needed for optimizing levels of luteal phase estradiol, and testosterone and progesterone do not show up as related to the behavior pattern, even though it did show up as related to the cycle length, the luteal phase length. All of these studies taught me as a scientist that there's something about the dynamic of regular sex with the opposite sex for a woman that makes her fertile, that makes her estrogen levels high. We know that estrogen does amazing things for the brain, the bones, the cognitive function, the cardiovascular function, the blood. It's everywhere they've ever looked, estrogen is profound. And with aging, estrogen diminishes and the woman starts aging, her bones start losing mass, she starts having, this morning I read a study that as estrogen levels drop, your mothers and your grandmothers, if they're not taking hormonal replacement therapy, the fatty tissue around their heart starts to build up. And they think that may be part of why the cardiovascular disease starts rising dramatically for postmenopausal women. But estrogen is the amazing life source of femininity, and we see it's related to sex behavior. And she can't do it for herself. It takes another person. And it takes a stable, ongoing other person, not one guy here and one guy there and skip a week and go look and then find another one. It takes stability of the pattern to show these. And instability of the pattern messes up the system, is what we came to see.